as I do get with a pick.
Well, the bass player, you have to cut the nails off, otherwise it goes doink.
Oh, it's terrible, I know. So when you're using the pick, what kind of, let's say you're playing some of those blues runs down. This is the key of A we're working in now. Yeah. Those runs that you're walking down, could you demonstrate some of that style?
That's by dampening and lifting up, kind of prevent it. And also left hand dampening I use a lot. Just dead notes.
You're getting some overtones there as well. So you're using also with the damping, you're playing the open A. You're getting that open A with the fretted A, so that you're able to cut it out with your hands, very much like a guitar player, as opposed to what most bass players would be used to doing.
I prefer to go in the direction of lead guitar than bass.
Well, when you started, you actually were inspired by the sound of guitar players like Duane Eddy and people who are getting a twang out of their guitar as opposed to bass players.
Yeah, I've seen so many bass players on stage that you just can't hear them after the fourth row because there's so much bottom end, and the only thing that actually cuts through is treble, so that's what I try to use.
Well, it seems like you have a nice melding of the two sounds. You have a nice treble sound and a bass. Is there anything special that you do with your settings on the bass to achieve that kind of?
No, just full treble, full volume. That's it.
So that's the John Entwistle sound, full treble, full volume. Something special in there, though. Now I notice when you're doing a lot of those left-hand things, you're mostly working between the first and third finger, stretching. If you stretch any more than 2 frets, are you bringing in your pinky, or do you stretch even further with your third finger? Because you have a very classical style. You're over the fingerboard like that, as opposed to my sort of
very flat, style. I don't know, people. Guitar repairers say that I wear my bass out the same place as country and western people do.
Oh really?
Yeah, same. So I must be doing the same frets.
Okay. Well, when you're playing those runs that are down, if you were to do that same kind of technique now, just with fingers, how would you have to get around that style? How would you try to do it? Would you just
any kind of dampening technique you can use with fingers is with the left hand. Still make those dead notes.
I see. I've really never seen anybody do that before, that kind of style. It seems that it's percussive and melodic at the same time. Did it come as a result of playing very loud? Was it having that high volume that got you to do those kind of techniques?
Yeah, I keep the action really low and just hit the strings very gently. I got it from using a precision bass.
I see.
And Marshall amps, and that's the only sound you could get. Was like, brings out all the harmonics as well.
Yes, you're getting harmonics which are almost just about every note of the scale. I noticed that you're getting thirds in there, sevenths. Can we hear some of the harmonic technique?
The nice thing about those type of harmonics is when you change the chord.
Now you're playing 2 notes. You're playing a 2-note chord with your left hand, and are you playing the harmonics on both notes or just one?
I think it was just on one then. But
so on the highest note?
You can play both.
It's a beautiful chime-like effect. Were there any songs that used to use that in with The Who? Any particular tunes that?
No, I didn't really use any harmonics with The Who. I occasionally sort of played them on 8-string, but
on 8-string,
Yeah, but anything like harmonics with the Who just wouldn't cut through. You know, it got drowned in the deluge of everything.
I was thinking of maybe some of those softer passages, because I know that I've heard Townsend sometimes use a similar effect of that coming down to that tone, sort of on synthesizer and guitar. Thought maybe some of that was you too.
We never really managed to get that bass sound onto record. You know, before modern amp technology, you were lucky to even hear the bass in the studio, let alone get the sound that you actually wanted.
Well, you're one of the first guys who managed to bring it to the forefront.
It's very difficult, sort of fighting to actually get the bass heard. I mean, an engineer will straight away turn the treble down, and that's it.
Well, it's nice. You have a clean. There's distortion as well, but there's a clean, stringy sound. You change the strings often. You keep them fresh.
Yeah, every show.
Really?
Most recording sessions, I actually change the whole string. In fact, with the Who, I was actually changing the strings for sound checks as well.
Wow.
You know, when your singer's using a humidifier on stage, you've got to make sure that the strings are as new as possible, otherwise they just go flat in no time. The humidifier pumping out dampness on your bass.
Yeah. Well, it's a great style. I know that you were doing some bending as well. You have an interesting sort of pivoting. You do it a lot with your first finger, sort of a bending. I mean, really, from a guitar player standpoint, I'm really appreciating this, because here I am teaching on all these videos that you should bend with as many fingers as you have behind the string, and there you are bending these enormously fat strings with just one finger at a time. So bass players, if you have my tape, don't listen to what I said. Follow what he's doing. It's an interesting... Yeah. Well, that's really good. I mean, it's generally a minor third to a major third sound that you're doing. Right, sort of a bluesy. What kind of blues runs do you use in the open position? When you're playing a solo and doing fills, what kind of notes do you like to go to? Because I noticed you were actually, at times, you were juxtaposing a 4 chord, the D, over the A, sort of forcing the issue, making a really strong run out of it.
Yeah, I kind of sort of...
Great. So you're doing a lot of the chromatic runs, and also I noticed that you have this marvelous pull-off technique where you keep going higher and higher, and you just keep pulling off cleanly to the open string.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Take it from me.
That's why I was analysing things. I never bothered.
I don't. Yeah. Well, but I mean, I know that you're using like the open G. You're doing things like this. Now, for just that basic magic bus